be here tonight. What a beautiful out. Give yourself a round of applause. It's so lovely. Everyone's so lovely.
Brian, yeah, you're drunk. You're drunk.
Wrong.
Where you going? Nowhere.
All right, and away we go, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Blunt Politics. I am Boston Brian. I appreciate you joining me once again. Today is Sunday. What is today? July 12th? 11th? 12th? 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 I'm going to go with the 12th, 2025. Let me know in the chat. I appreciate you guys joining me. Again, the cover-up of the century has now turned into the backfire of the century, ladies and gentlemen. One that we can, again, revel in the attention that it's getting, revel in the the press that it's receiving, and again, revel in the nature of the backfire that is Donald Trump's trying to sweep under the rug Jeffrey Epstein's client list and his involvement. We're going to take at a few examples of Donald Trump not only losing his ever-loving mind on Truth Social, but also getting ratioed in the process on his own platform. So he put on this long screed on Truth Social about the Epstein list and about how, he wishes MAGA would stop talking about it and people would get off Pam Bondi's back. And we'll take a look at some of the top comments on that. We'll take a look at Mediaite's coverage of that post. Again, we'll be taking a look at Republican Accountability's post on both Twitter and Blue Sky. Posting what I showed last night. And again, thank you to everybody that joined me in the YouTube Zoom. I really appreciate you guys. You guys have been fantastic all the way around. I had a really great time. Lots of laughs. Great to see people behind the screen names. So thank you to everybody that showed up. I did play this clip last night just for them, but I'll play it again of Steve Bannon talking face-to-face live with what it looks like a Donald Trump wannabe. So somebody that's clearly not faking it, a young kid who clearly calls out Donald Trump by name, which again breaks from the norm, breaks from what these other MAGA commentators have been doing as far as calling out only Pam Bondi, only Kash Patel, and only Dan Bongino while trying to keep Donald Trump separate from this whole thing. Dan Bongino, there's another story. We got to get into Dan Bongino because nobody really knows what's going on with Dan Bongino. Is he resigning? Is he not resigning? There's reports that he hasn't been to work since Wednesday. He wants to know if Pam Bondi's going to resign before he makes a decision. So we'll be taking a look at some of that, some, again, of the MAGA reaction, the ongoing MAGA reaction to this story, as well as oh yeah, here's this. Let me show you. Let me show this on the stage for you guys. This is the shocking news from the Daily Wire reveals that FBI Deputy Director Dan Bongino, who has taken a leave of absence over the handling of the Epstein case, is threatening to resign unless Pam Bondi is fired. Story development. So we'll take a look at this video here. Matt Walsh, disgusting MAGA freak, must have just come back from vacation, ladies and gentlemen. Must have just come back from vacation. Because he has something to say on Twitter as well. Donald Trump sat down with Lara Trump for an interview. I want to see if we can pop in and take a look at a little bit of that. I'm curious if they address this whole Epstein debacle. I'm curious how they go about trying to cover it up even further. So we'll see if we can check in a little bit on that. We also have Donald Trump trying to revoke the citizenship of Rosie O'Donnell. Again, something he absolutely does not have the power to do. But just, again, goes to show his ignorance, incompetence, and willingness to break the law and go against the Constitution to harm people he believes or people he sees as opposition. So I appreciate you guys joining me. Make sure you guys hit the like button on the way in. Again, I'm Boston Brian. This is Blunt Politics. I really thank you guys for all your support. There is the liking, the sharing, the subscribing. You can become a channel member just underneath me for $2.99 a month, cheaper than a gallon of gas here in Southern California. You can also check out patreon.com at patreon.com/Boston Brian. There's also a Venmo, or what should be a Venmo, up in the corner. Glad I said something because it is not there. But if anybody has Venmo, this is the easiest and most direct way to get the funds to the place that you're trying to get them to. YouTube doesn't take a cut. They don't take a month, 2 months to try to get you that money. It is what it is. I appreciate you guys. All right. What do you say we get into it? And thank everybody that's in the chat for being here. Thank all the mods. Let's see. Let me scroll back up because I think I missed Nordez already. Yeah, of course I did. Already. Thank you, Nordez. Appreciate you. As always, you can count on it, right? Like the sun rising. Let's go. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you, Alyosha. I appreciate you, my man. Thank you, Jonathan. Thank you, Mozart. What's up, Laura? What's up, Leron? How are you? What's up, Alvin? George, good to see you last night. I appreciate you, my man. Cam, how are you? What's going on? Dino, what's up, BJ, Crystal? Everybody on Twitch, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, whatever platform you may be watching on, please hit the like button, share, subscribe, whatever it will allow you to do on that platform. But what do you say we get into it? What do you say? Is this live? Okay, we'll do it live. We'll do it live. Of course it's live. Of course it's live. We're always live. Thank you, Angela. 1 year. Let's go. Let's go. Appreciate you, Angela. And congratulations. And thank you so much for your continued support now for a year. We really appreciate you here at the Church of Bryantology. Yeah. Well, also, Pam, we'll be talking about, if there's time at the end of this, how Mexican volunteers coming across the border to help save people in the Texas floods are actually being rounded up, arrested, handcuffed. And we'll see if we can take a look at the disgusting comments by Greg Abbott as well pertaining to that situation. Rosie Arnold is a distraction from Epstein. Well, I mean, listen, I think that's one area of it, but I don't think that if there was a route for him to make that happen, that he wouldn't also make that happen, right? So it just goes along with, the the unconstitutional, illegal actions of not only Trump's immigration policies and what ICE is doing, Border Patrol. We've seen now the Marines get involved. It just goes right hand in hand with that, I believe. So let's see if we can get into the first story that I wanted to show you guys, which is, you guys are going to love this. You guys are going to love this. Check this out. Oh, sorry. You know what? What a dummy. What a dummy. Let me see if I can put it maybe this way will work. And then what I'm going to do is go back here, because that's not supposed to be that back around at this moment. All right, there we go. My apologies. That background was for a different situation. So I hope you like it, though. All right, so this is Donald Trump's absolute freak out on Truth Social. I have to read this to you. We have to get into it. We also have to get into the reaction from people on Truth Social to this post. We'll also be taking a look at a Mediaite article pertaining to this. Trump gets ratioed by his own Truth Social followers over Epstein post. Again, ladies and gentlemen, this is just becoming the blunder of the century for this administration, right? Like the amount of people that are now talking about this, Googling this. I posted something on Blue Sky this morning. The trending topics on Twitter this morning were Epstein files. What were they? Hold on. Let me see if I can remember them now. I think it was pedophiles, Epstein files, and maybe Donald Trump. I forget what the first one was now. Let's see if I can find this. My apologies. I want to make sure I get it right. Go to my notifications. See here. So excuse me. Sorry. It was current topics trending on Twitter this morning were Pam Bondi, Epstein Island, and pedophiles. This was what it said this morning when somebody posted that. Let me see if I can share this to you guys instead. This was it. Pam Bondi, polls, Epstein Island, and then the last one here, as you can see, is pedos. So those are just some of the trending topics, just in case people were wondering if Donald Trump has actually managed to make this stuff disappear. Because again, we also talked about the report. I think it was on CNN or MSNBC where they said the Google searches for Epstein and things related to Epstein have gone up something like 1,500% since the memo from the DOJ came out. All right, but let's just see if we can get into this just nonsensical screed from a mindless freak. All right, you guys ready for this one? All right, grab a drink, grab something strong, grab your coffee, light it up, whatever you got. Smoke them if you got them, right? Because listen to this, ladies and gentlemen. Listen to this. Tell me if this sounds like a guy that thinks he's winning in this regard, winning in this situation, right? He says, let's see what time was this at, too. This was 2:21 p.m. All right, I thought it was going to be like a 2 a.m. post. What's going on with, quote, my boys, and in some cases, quote, gals? They're all going after Attorney General Pam Bondi, who is doing a fantastic job, all being capitalized. We're on one team, MAGA, and I don't like what's happening. We have a perfect administration, perfect capitalized, the talk of the world, all capitalized, and, quote, selfish people are trying to hurt it. All over a guy who never dies, Jeffrey Epstein. For years, it's Epstein over and over again. Why are we giving publicity to files written by Obama, crooked Hillary, Comey, Brennan, and the losers and criminals of the Biden administration who conned the world with the Russia hoax, 51 intelligence agents, the laptop from hell, and more? Now, do you see what's going on here? Now these files were actually written. These files were actually written by Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton, fucking Joe Biden, James Comey. They were actually written by them now. Like, so much so, he's trying to pull this out of his ass so deep that he's now trying to make it seem like these are written files written and conceived by Democrats, by Obama, by Biden, by Hillary. And they should just be totally whitewashed, totally just forgotten about, never brought up again, never publicized. Like, that's how deep into this we are right now. That's how deep into this we are. And it gets better. Not to mention, like I said, him getting ratioed and the top comments and the comments on this post, right? All right, so where did we leave off here? So they created the Epstein files just like they created the fake Hillary Clinton, Christopher Steele dossier that they used on me. And now my so-called friends are playing right into their hands. Why didn't these radical left lunatics release the Epstein files? If there was anything in there that could have hurt the MAGA movement, why didn't they use it? They haven't given up on the JFK files, the MLK files. No matter how much success we've had securing the border, deporting criminals, fixing the economy, energy dominance, a safer world with where Iran will not have a nuclear weapon, it's never enough for some people. We're about to achieve more in 6 months than any other administration has achieved in over 100 years. And we have so much more to do. We are saving our country and making America great again, all capitalized, which will continue to be our complete priority. The left is imploding. Kash Patel and the FBI must be focused on investigating voter fraud, political corruption, Act Blue, the rigged and stolen election of 2020, and arresting thugs and criminals instead of spending month after month looking at nothing but the same old radical left-inspired documents on Jeffrey Epstein. Let Pam Bondi do her job. She's great. The 2020 election was rigged and stolen, and they tried to do the same thing in 2024. That's what she is looking into as AG and much more. 1 year ago, our country was dead. Now it's the, quote, hottest, all caps, country in the world. Let's keep it that way and not waste time and energy on Jeffrey Epstein, somebody that nobody cares about. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Oh, my God. Now, if there was ever a long-winded, 1,000-word way to say, look the other way, you just read it. We just read it together. That is just one long fucking way to say, please look the other way. Please make this disappear. Please talk about the 2020 election. Please talk about Act Blue or anything else other than this. Oh, it's beautiful, ladies and gentlemen. It's beautiful. Does this seem like a guy that has complete and total control? Oh, Jess, let's go. Thank you so much for being here. 1 year. Appreciate that. And I know it's been longer, but I do appreciate the 12-month membership streak you got going on there. Appreciate you. Good to see you the other night in the Zoom as well. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. And thank you to everybody else that's been gifted memberships. Thank you, Susan. I appreciate that. Keep the spotlight on the Epstein files. MAGA is fracturing over the cover-up, which you're 100% right, Susan, which is hilarious because in this post, Donald Trump loves to say, or at least attempts to say, that it is, yes, the look, right, correct. That's absolutely correct. The look over here strategy. But he's talking about how the left is imploding. As he's writing this screed about the Epstein files and how about nobody should pay attention to them. They were written literally by Obama, Democrats, Biden, Hillary. They should never be publicized. Let's not talk about that. Let's talk about anything else, right? And he loves to say the left is imploding. No. I think we are just coming into, I believe, the golden age here of the left. I really, truly do believe that. And I hope you guys noticed my my screen name here on True Social. Have you guys noticed my profile name on True Social? Oh, I love it. I love it. You used to be able to just like look at his posts and like look at what he said without actually having an account here. But somehow that changed. I don't know, sometime over the last couple days or week or whatever, that changed, I guess. Either that they're just not allowing me in, and now you have to have some sort of an account. So I thought, you can't see it on the phone. It's too small. Hold on. Let me see if I can zoom in on it a little bit. I mean, that's got to be a little better. That's got to be a little better, right? But as you can see, it automatically made me follow 69 people, which I found strange as well. But yeah, my name on True Social is Trump Loves Epstein 23. Make sure you follow me on there in case you're on there. Sorry, I found that really good. All right, let's get into just some of the comments because this is what people found really surprising, I think, right? So if you take a look at here, it's got 33.9 thousand likes, right? But I think at some point it had over 37,000 comments. It's actually not displaying it here like it was before. So maybe maybe they took that down because they don't like the fact that they were getting ratioed here. But let's see here. This one of these top comments, this has 15.6 thousand likes, right? So nearly half the likes on a comment that the original post got. So let's just read a couple of them here from the commenters here. This is Rosie 0226 replying to Donald Trump. She says, "This statement breaks my heart, Mr. President. I have 4 daughters and I live in Texas, where families lost little children. I can't even begin to comprehend the flipped narrative that, quote, it was so long ago. Why are we still talking about this? And nobody should care. These victims were someone's daughters, sisters, nieces, granddaughter, someone's child. Please reconsider, sir. I voted for everything you are doing. Accountability was not something negotiable. I, my family, and those we conceived to give you a chance are all counting on you to bring sick perversion to account. Otherwise, it will continue to happen. If we are not the voice of the victims, then who? Respectfully, with much gratitude for all the promises you keep. Please let this one be one as well. Much love to you and yours." The next one here, let's see here. Let's go back to the actual post here. The next one here is pretty straightforward on this one. It says, "We want elite pedos exposed. You promised us that. Pam promised us that. Cash promised us that. Now it's our fault because we want the promise fulfilled and call Pam out every time she lies. What else has she lied about?" Next, "I think she has earned the right." Oh, excuse me. "We were told to stop asking about it over, and it's over. If we would have been told more time was needed, that would have been acceptable. Instead, we've gotten gaslit lies and spliced 4 times edited prison video footage with another lie saying that the prison resets and loses 1 minute every night. It's the lies that is concerning us all. In DC, lies are to protect people who needs protected." I think that should be easily answered in this. "Until we get truth and transparency, internet will continue to go amok, creating theories to make sense of it all. That's not good." You can see here the continued theme. There's no way to know who they are. There is no client list. Whoever in the authority said there was a client list, no one. Only people on Twitter speculating rumors. It doesn't exist. Pam is telling the truth. Why would she lie? Except for the fact that she literally said on Fox News that she had possession of said client list. So you can see there's a mix of of, really prominent comments that are calling this out with, people that are trying to still kind of, wipe the slate clean and still trying to smooth over this situation as best as possible online here. But I just found this like fantastic. I really did. To see that he is now having to either dictate this to somebody or either sit there on his fucking cell phone with his little tiny hands, right, himself to try to type this whole thing out. Donald Trump's little tiny hands.
For the rest of my life, I have the curse that I have little hands. Little hands.
Right, but I can just see him trying to type this whole thing out on fucking AirFart 1, whatever mode of transportation he was in at the time. But again, let's see if we can get into this article too, because not only was he ratioed, not only was this a terrible look, not only does this give off the impression that he does not have this under control anymore, that this has totally gotten away from him due to his own incompetence, due to Pam Bondi's incompetence, due to Kash Patel's incompetence, due to Dan Bag of Vagina's incompetence. Because of these people's incompetence and listening to Donald Trump and, taking Donald Trump's instructions as to, kind of whitewash and cover this whole thing up and then go on to enact that fucking request, they have then put themselves in the spotlight, put the target on their back. But again, we are here to, again, keep Donald Trump in the spotlight, make sure that Donald Trump's name does not get disconnected from this story in any way. Right. So this is a Mediaite article referencing that same tweet, that same post, to him getting ratioed here. So it goes on to say President Donald Trump tried to shut down growing chatter about the Jeffrey Epstein files, but it didn't just fall flat. It exploded in his face. In a rare and telling moment, the president got ratioed on the very social platform he owns, Truth Social, by the very MAGA loyalist he once could count on to amplify every post. So it's not just the vocal MAGA influencers who aren't buying it yet, It's the very rabble he loves to rouse who are calling bullshit. And again, I call bullshit on this statement right here because MAGA influencers, again, are only barely scraping the surface when it comes to directly calling out the people that are actually involved, actually have the motive, and actually are in power to make this cover up a thing, right? To tell the DOJ, to tell the FBI, to make this stuff quietly fade into the background. So it is not MAGA influencers. They're not buying the cover up, but again, they're not making the connection between Donald Trump, his power, and his involvement with the Epstein files. For the uninitiated, getting ratioed in social media shorthand is when a post receives far more replies than likes or reposts, usually a sign that the audience disagrees with or is angry about the content. It's a public drubbing and one that's typically reserved for establishment figures or media villains, not Trump and certainly not on Truth Social, a platform custom built to be his digital stronghold. Yes, that's precisely what happened. In a bizarre plot twist Saturday evening, Trump posted that it was time to, quote, move on, end quote, from the Epstein story, calling it a massive distraction, meant to take attention away from what he deemed some great administration successes. But instead of calming the waters, the message sparked a firestorm in the replies, and not from left-wing critics or, quote, the deep state. Quote, deep state conspiracists. They were his followers, turning on him in real time. The backlash was immediate. The post was swarmed with angry and skeptical comments, vastly outnumbering the likes and reposts. This kind of ratio isn't just a matter of bad optics. It's a warning flare from Trump's base. The digital loyalty he once commanded without question is now, at least on this issue, showing some serious cracks. Quote, this statement breaks my heart, as I read to you in one of the statements from Rosie 26 there. This just goes on to read just a few more of the comments that I read from you. This is going to cost you so many supporters, says Dwayne Sykes. I, being one of them, have been to multiple rallies and even was there on January 6th. This is one of the main things that needs fixed. Our two-tiered system of justice needs to end. We are the people are tired of it. These are just three replies of many, a clear sign that the engagement is driven by more backlash than support. On a platform like Truth Social, where Trump usually dominates with likes and praise, that kind of interaction pattern is both rare and revealing. That reaction wasn't confined to the platform either. Megyn Kelly voiced her skepticism on her show, questioning why Trump, of all people, would suddenly want to bury the Epstein story. Again, Geez, question. I don't know, man. Geez. Can you guys think of any reason why he would maybe want to bury these files? Is there just some like simple, simple answer that is right in front of us with the evidence that we known that would just lead us to why somebody in his power, with his power, would try to make these things disappear? Can you guys think of it in the chat? I don't know. Let me know if you do. Let's see here. It goes on to say Lara Ingraham, normally one of his most reliable defenders, made space on her show to highlight the revelations from newly unsealed Epstein court documents. And Tucker Carlson has spent days fanning speculation about Epstein's ties to intelligence agencies, implicitly challenging anyone, Trump included, who suggests the story is over. Trump's political instincts, once unmatched in their ability to read and redirect outrage, seem out of step here. The Epstein files have become more than a scandal. They become a symbol of elite corruption that Trump's base is obsessed with exposing. His effort to deflect came off not as savvy or strategic, but suspicious. And the most telling sign of that misfire, he didn't get shouted down by the mainstream media. Let's see. He got ratioed on Truth Social, his own digital backyard. If that's not a sign of narrative slipping out of his control, it's hard to say what is. So just a little short article by Mediaite there about how Donald Trump, again, like I said, and when you see things like this, ladies and gentlemen, for the people that I showed this to last night on the Zoom, I appreciate you once again joining me, and I appreciate you sticking through this once again. But when you see things like this, ladies and gentlemen, when you start to see things like this, and even in its smallest form, even if the smallest cracks are starting to form in what is maybe a more educated, younger base in MAGA, right? And again, I'm not giving these people more credit than what is due, specifically from these clips and what they're saying specifically in these clips. But these are things not said by MAGA commentators online. These are things not said, damn sure not said directly to Steve Bannon's face in some live appearance by anybody else that I've heard. So I want you to listen to this, guys. I want you to listen to the way in which this kid, who seemingly is dressed just like Donald Trump, right? So I don't think this is some, deep state actor, some deep state plant here. This is a guy that actually wants answers, I believe, in this situation, in this case, because he gets up in front of Steve Bannon right here and calls out Donald Trump by name to Steve Bannon's face. So let's just check out what happens in this little interaction and just see if it goes to show just a little bit of a sign of the slippage that not only the reaction and the replies to Trump's Truth Social post allude to, but what some of these comments from the younger voters in the MAGA base apparently are now saying too. So let's take a look at this.
If you were in the Oval this morning with the president before he left for Kerrville, Texas, give me your top 3 things that you would tell the president of the United States that, coming from a young person in the base and a dedicated worker and follower of his, that you feel he needs to do right now.
We need to enforce the laws of this country. And, like you said, Steve, there's no better question than who rules America. It's not the people. So we need to obviously have the declassification of the
You don't
Epstein
think
files.
Donald Trump?
So immediately, 2 things that I've noticed, right? Steve Bannon, immediately when he senses that this gentleman is going to even reference the Epstein files, immediately goes to cut him off, in which we'll see later on in this clip as well, where the young lady holding the microphone senses that this isn't going very well and decides to take the microphone down from this gentleman's mouth, this young kid's mouth. And 2 things are the fact that he's willing to now say that Donald Trump pretty much isn't in charge of the country, right? Which, again, Steve Bannon will go on to question him. Let's continue on this. But just 2 things that I noticed real quick about this live appearance, this live conversation between this young supposed MAGA voter and Steve Bannon here.
Trump as president, you would tell Donald Trump in the Oval Office that you think there's an open question with him as commander in chief and doing all he's doing. You would actually tell Trump you don't know,
and you can hear under Steve Bannon's voice, just under the breath there, you can hear somebody say blackmail. I believe the kid says blackmail, right? So again, even with him trying to call out Donald Trump, still that reluctance to say that it is totally Donald Trump's doing, right? He's like, what I get from that, there are still some like actors, some bad actors behind the scenes that are blackmailing people, right? So let's just see here. Or he could be referencing how Donald Trump is now, blackmailing other people in order to keep this stuff hush hush. Let's continue.
You question who rules this country?
I definitely would, because it's a blackmail ring, and anybody who wouldn't is not paying attention.
Now, another thing, and I'm sorry to keep stopping this, but listen to the people in the background as well, because it's not just this kid and what he's saying. It's the people that seemingly agree with him, not only bringing up Epstein, not only bringing up corruption, not only bringing up how they supposedly voted for Trump for answers and are getting anything but. But again, it's not just this kid. It's the people in the background saying, thank you. Yes, thank you. That's another thing that I want you to pay attention to.
Simply put, Epstein himself said that he was best friends on the stand with Donald Trump. So anybody who thought that these files were going to get just declassified because we pressured him enough or you voted harder enough is just lying to yourself, frankly.
Do you agree with a special?
All right. So can we just say that is the most direct calling out of evidence, the most direct calling out of Donald Trump that I have heard since this story dropped, or in a very long time, especially live to Steve Bannon's face on any MAGA account, on any right-wing podcast, on any right-wing live stream, right? Can we just at least bring that into light? And can we get that one more time of this kid bringing up the direct evidence of Jeffrey Epstein saying on the witness stand that he was best friends with Donald Trump, and that if anybody thought that Donald Trump was going to just waltz in and release these files because they voted hard enough, that they were lying to themselves. Can we just get that one more time, because it is very chef's kiss, if I do say so myself. Ready?
So anybody who thought that these files.
Oops, sorry. One more time. I got to go back just a little further. Here we go.
Commander in chief and doing all he's doing. You would actually tell Trump you question who rules this country?
I definitely would, because it's a blackmail ring, and anybody who wouldn't is not paying attention. Simply put, Epstein himself said that he was best friends on the stand with Donald Trump. So
simply put, Jeffrey Epstein said himself on the stand that he was best friends with Donald Trump. Please continue, young man.
So anybody who thought that these files were going to get just declassified because we pressured him enough or you voted harder enough is just lying to yourself, frankly.
Okay. Spitting truth right there, spitting facts right there. At least in those two sentences, I'll give the kid credit where credit is due on that one. Let's see where this goes in terms of where Steve Bannon wants to now bring this conversation and how Real America's Voice handles this situation of Donald Trump getting shit on live in real time.
Do you agree with a special prosecutor has to be an independent special prosecutor has to take over? Do you believe that DOJ and FBI right now, with the guys who are all close to Pam Bondi, Dan Bongino, Cash Patel, do you think they have any credibility left to pursue this?
No, and I'll tell you exactly.
No. Do you think they have any credibility left to pursue this? He's asked. The immediate answer from not only the kid, but also members of the audience in the background are an immediate no. Listen.
Do you think they have any credibility left to pursue this?
No, and I'll tell you exactly why, Steve,
you can hear the other people in the background also say no.
In 2016, we trusted the plan with Trump, but now Trump has become the deep state. The exact thing we voted him in.
Why do you say
Donald Trump has become the deep state? Right? I mean, hello. Definitely more direct than anybody that we've shown clips of, whether it be Liz Wheeler, Megyn Kelly, Charlie Kirk, Nick Fuentes, Alex Jones. More direct and on point and factual than any of those people so far have managed to come out with a statement about this situation. And again, if you look at when he says Donald Trump has become the deep state, I want you to notice the reaction of the young lady holding the microphone, which will, again, I guess, lead us to more evidence as to why she pulls down the microphone and kind of tries to end this interview with this young man prematurely. So let's see it one more time. What has Donald Trump become?
No, and I'll tell you exactly why, Steve, because in 2016, we trusted the plan with Trump. but now Trump has become the deep state. The exact thing we voted him in.
Why do you say he's?
You can see she had an immediate reaction to that, shaking her head no. And then Steve Bannon here's immediate reaction is to cut him off once again to try to interject with another question, I guess, to obfuscate from the what the kids say.
Become the deep state.
What is more deep state than covering up for pedophiles?
Woo! Oh! Now the kid's just throwing smoke. The kid's just throwing grenades. He's just literally lobbing grenades at Steve Bannon right now. That's what's going on. He literally just pulled the pin right there and threw a grenade straight at Steve Bannon and whatever that other young lady's name is. Because to come out there and literally say, hey, Steve, you and I both know that there is nothing more deep state than covering up for pedophiles, right? And there is only one thing that I can see happening right now with this administration as it pertains to the Epstein files is them covering up for pedophiles, explicitly and specifically the pedophile president that we have in charge right now. So just, again, few times in this little thing that I want to replay. This is absolutely one of them, though. So let's check that out one more time.
To pursue this?
No, and I'll tell you exactly why, Steve, because in 2016, we trusted the plan with Trump. But now Trump has become the deep state. The exact thing we voted him in.
Why do you say he's become the deep state?
What is more deep state than covering up for pedophiles? Why would you go to that island? Why? Tell me, why would you go to that island?
Hey, you know what, kid? Good fucking question. Great fucking question. You know who you should probably get that question to is the president of the United States of America, the guy that was Jeffrey Epstein's best friend, like you just brought up in this conversation. Might be a question for him. But again, let's again see how this is handled by One America's Voice or whatever friggin' network this is.
Why would you go on the plane? Why his top donors?
See what the girl does here. Watch this. I'll play that one more time. You still should be able to see the clip.
Tell me why. Then cover.
Ready? I want you to notice what she does with the microphone as this kid again starts and continues spitting facts. Right?
Covering up for pedophiles. Why would you go to that island? Why? Tell me, why would you go to that island? Why would you go on the plane? Why his top donors?
Right. So now, why would you go on the plane? Why would you go to that island? Why would you continue taking money from top donors that were involved with Jeffrey Epstein? And she doesn't want to hear any more of it. She doesn't want to hear any more. She doesn't think it's going well. And if you look at Steve Bannon's immediate reaction to that, he signals to put the microphone back up to the kid's mouth so that he can finish his statement. But when the young girl does put the microphone back up to the kid's face so that he can finish his statement, Steve Bannon immediately cuts him off again. Check this out.
Sorry.
Yep.
Ready? So Steve Bannon signals to the young girl to give him the microphone.
Why
back.
would you go on the plane? Why his top donors? Sorry.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
She puts the microphone back up to his face, right? So he can continue talking. Now watch what Steve Bannon does.
Top donors, neighbors.
Anybody agree?
He immediately cuts him right off from saying anything else. Slacks. What's up, Slacks? What's up, brother? Good to see you, dude. I will pass on the love. I do promise that. I can't believe with all that Trump's done, this is what's bringing down the house. Right. I mean, you can absolutely be amazed at him getting away with so much stuff. And then this being the thing that kind of puts the biggest cracks in the dam as far as, his MAGA base are concerned. But again, I'm not saying this takes him down. I'm not saying this is going to be the undoing or the end of Donald Trump as far as support for MAGA. I'm just saying the cracks are forming. I'm just saying if we continue to, stoke this fire, stoke the flames, if we continue to, throw some more coals over this and continue to make it red hot, continue to make this something that's in the news and continue to make this as something that's talked about, continue to harass MAGA as far as them being lied to, as far as them not getting the answers they thought they were going to get to make sure that that stays on the forefront of their minds, then this absolutely could be something that we use to our benefit, use to our advantage as far as attacking Republicans in primaries, attacking them in midterms, attacking them in general elections, so forth and so on. And if we do play our cards right in this, and if the information does come out eventually, which we all hope it does, this very well could be the undoing of Donald Trump. So again, we need to continue to push the buttons, continue to stoke the flames here, continue to make this a story, because not only because, A, we do absolutely care about this, first and foremost, we do absolutely want to see these sick bastards, any single one of them involved, any single one of them on the list, any single one of them that went to the island, any single one of them that touched a friggin' hair on a little girl's head, to be held to account, to be brought to justice, regardless of political affiliation, regardless of financial power, regardless of the corporations they may own. We don't care. First and foremost, we want accountability. We want justice. We want the rule of law to once again be a thing, not only for the poor people in this country, but again for the richest, the most powerful, the billionaires in this country, because it seems like that has really gone by the wayside as far as accountability and justice for rich people in this country. So first and foremost, that's why we want to see this happen. Second of all, we can use this to our political advantage, right? We can use this to our political advantage while getting the answers we so deserve. I don't think that is too out of question. I don't think that is too out of line. I think that is playing politics as politics should be played. I mean, that is exactly what opposition research is. That is exactly why politicians and corporations do opposition research. So you can then, build your case, build your platform, build your commercials, build your, phrases and statements that you're going to use on the campaigns, identify the areas that you're going to attack your opponent on. So I'm sorry, but, fire with fire. Time to get dirty where they're getting dirty, and that's how I intend to play from here on out. There are, I believe, a few more seconds of this. Oh, I'm sorry. Just there's one more second where he goes on to ask one of his other commentators, one of his other anchors, whoever it is, if they're going to lose the MAGA base if they don't handle this correctly. And the kid goes on to say yes. So let's just see if we play that real quick.
Agree with that? Are we going to lose? Are we going to lose part of the base if we don't? Burkhorn, are we going to lose part of the base if we don't pursue this? If you're in,
you can't hear what the kid said, but he did say yes. This is posted by I want to say Republican Accountability on X. I believe they also have an account on Blue Sky, so definitely check them out. Let me see if I can go back to their. Because they also posted just a couple seconds of a few more statements from a few more younger people in the crowd. I don't know if it was on the end of this. I don't know. Let's see if we can go back here. My apologies. Scrolling through this. Of course, they're talking about Pam Bondi here at the Turning Points USA. If you want to take a look at a couple of these clips, let me know in the chat. We can take a look at them trying to. Here's Megyn Kelly, who we know hasn't been very happy about the handling. All right, so here's the other clip that I wanted to.
Does Epstein matter to you? What?
So this is just, again, some of the, obviously you can tell, very young people in the crowd. Once again, dressed like Donald Trump, though, so we have to believe, somebody that believes himself to be a supporter of MAGA. And what he has to say about this situation, just real quick. I'll even speed it up a little bit so it doesn't take very long to get through. But here we go.
I'm 15. 15 out here. What matters to you? Does this Epstein matter to you? What issues matter to you?
Yeah, I think that Epstein matters to me a lot because I think the fate and the trust of the government is on the line here. I think President Trump should tell Pam Bondi to do a press conference. The American people have a lot of questions, and I think they need to be answered.
And then there's one more here from a young girl. Who again goes on to say that Donald Trump absolutely does risk losing at least parts of his base by not uncovering or releasing these files, and that it does absolutely mean something to her. And again, I'm not giving more credit where credit is due here, but I am just showing you that not only are young people, as we've talked about on this show, continue to be wrapped up in MAGA politics, continue to be wrapped up in the anti-establishment fever that has taken over the Republican Party, even though they are the absolute establishment at this point. Don't mind the hypocrisy, but still, we have been for some time losing these. And again, I know this doesn't translate into votes. The kid's 15 years old. But what I'm saying is that someday this kid is absolutely going to vote. And it would be prudent upon the Democrats, prudent upon lefties to, again, try to focus whatever we can at getting to the minds of these people. And it's, again, just good to see that they're willing to call Donald Trump out by name, willing to sit there and say on camera to a microphone, at a live event, that this absolutely is meaningful to them, and that they will, it will cost him some of his base if he doesn't, release these files or handle this accordingly as far as they want to. So let's just take a look at what she has to say.
Lady, what about you? Epstein, does it matter to you?
Yes, I think it's super important, and Trump needs to help bring light to that.
And again, more shame on this girl's mom, who I can only believe is this woman right here with the MAGA hat on to the left because of her look of, how proud she is, and her look of joy that she has in her face now at her daughter being on Real America's Voice. But just to continue.
Yeah.
Will he lose his base if he doesn't?
Yeah, I think he will.
Now, what I saw in this, I don't know if you recognize that as well, but it was actually her mom who started nodding yes before she even answered the question. So if you look at her mom here on the left-hand side and wait till he asks the question, she starts nodding yes. And then I believe she catches that nod out of the corner of her eye and also says yes. That's just something that I pick up on. But at least the mom's also saying yes to this, right?
Lose his base if he doesn't?
Yeah, I think he will.
I'm 15.
See, so you can see that she nodded yes first. The daughter, I believe, picked up on that and also responded yes to that question. But again, just good to see that. Like I said, the cracks are forming, at least either in the younger crowd. They're not afraid to come out and call Donald Trump out. They're not afraid to come out and call for accountability. So it's something that I think the right-wing MAGA commentators should take a page out of the playbook of, because they just have done nothing but look an absolute fool since this whole thing came over. Let's see if we can actually find some examples of them looking an absolute fool. So let's just see if we can dive into a couple of these shorter clips here posted from Republican Accountability about them talking about the Epstein files here at the Turning Points Action Committee, whatever the fuck they call it there. All right, let's take a look. See if I can pop this on the screen for you guys. Here we go.
Way. Try to lead you to believe that she's got it. It's on her desk. It's coming tomorrow. You're going to see something on Epstein. And it was a tease. So you either believe that Pam Bondi was telling the truth then, or that she's telling the truth now. But both cannot be true. She was either lying when she went on Fox News all those times saying, I've got it, we're looking at it, wait until you see it, it's horrible. Or she's lying in her 2-page memo that they released on a Sunday night at the tail end of a holiday weekend to Axios, as if Axios is where we all go for our news. Hell no. She went to someone she knew would not kick the tires on the story. And without sign.
Did you say no audio? I know it's low. I can tell it's low audio, definitely for sure coming from this clip, but there should be audio. Increase the volume, please. Yeah, I was just going to say there's not much I could do on that front. I do apologize. Everything's turned up as far as I can go on my end. Let me see here. Volume up, volume up. Yeah, volume's as high as I can go on my end and on the clip. So it's just there. It's just the shitty audio here of Turning Points. With all the funding they have, with all the money they have, with all the billionaire donors that they have, still can't come up with a fucking good audio system to put out clips on the social medias. Let's see if all the clips are like that, if maybe it was just like this one. This is Pam Bondi brought in some of the best influence. Jack Posobiec, libs of TikTok. She gave them these Epstein binders. Oh, yeah, this is great. I love this. Bind-a-gate, ladies and gentlemen, where they actually came out. You guys remember that? Where they actually came out holding the big white binders that actually contained less publicly known information that was already publicly known. Which, again, we've talked about on this show, and that's why these people are definitely, like Liz Wheeler, Jack Posobiec, are definitely trying their best to come after Pam Bondi while leaving Donald Trump out of this situation. But let's just see if this clip is a little louder for you guys. I apologize if it's not. That's, again, not on my end.
She also brought in some of our best influencers, people that I care about deeply. Jack Posobiec, who's incredible. Libs of TikTok, Chaya. DC Drano. Yeah. And she gave them these binders, and she humiliated. And
again, I know it may be low as well, and we don't have to watch this whole thing because I know the audio is low, and I do apologize. But again, look who they're trying to place the blame on. And again, and I'm not saying that Pam Bondi didn't place a target on her own back, because she absolutely did. But again, the word that we continue to use here as far as obfuscation, right? So to make it seem as if Pam Bondi has the motive, as if Pam Bondi herself undertook this mission to come out on Fox News, come out on all these interviews and say that not only does she have the Epstein client list, but no, she's seen all the videos and how disgusting they are and how many victims are involved. But then she also seemingly came up with the same mission to come out about a month or so later and say that none of these files exist, like on her own, just, one day over a glass of wine and some fucking gnocchi, she decided to say, you know what, I kind of want to make myself seem like an asshole. I kind of want to make myself seem like the tit hypocrite that, that people think I am. So what I should do is definitely come out and contradict what I just said not that long ago on 100 interviews, and then definitely come out and say that this no longer exists, right? So their inability, or their active decision to keep Donald Trump away from this situation while calling out Pam Bondi, while calling out Kash Patel, while calling out Dan Bag of Vaginas, is again the story of is the story and the theme that I continue to cover, that I continue to look at, and that I think should be studied again going long into the future psychologically.
Them. Yeah. And you guys know what I'm talking about?
No, we don't know what you're talking about, Chuck. And you're really, really low as far as volume, so I don't really care. But there were definitely a few clips to come. This is another one of the morons there, Jack Posobiec, that came out with another one of the binders. Let's see if there's better audio. He made the reputable decision, ladies and gentlemen, to sit down with Russell Brand to discuss the Epstein files and then Pam Bondi's handling. So there's two clips here, short clips. Let's see if we can get into what these two chuckle fucks, what these two absolute numbskulls, one being a credibly accused sexual assaulter in what's his face there, fucking Russell Brand, and the other just being an absolute moron, bigoted right-wing freak in Jack Posobiec, who again was duped and made to look an absolute twat by holding up those white binders of information that was less information that was already publicly known. So let's see if we can get into what these clips entail here.
I was one of those people who was brought in with Pam Bondi and received the binder. Remember the binder now? I call it the baloney binder because as I opened it, it turned out
Good one. Clever. Really clever. The baloney binder. Ugh, cringe.
That's all it was full of, was just baloney. There were no actual new documents in here at all. And yet we were told, hey, this is phase one.
Can we just go on to recognize yet another right wing, yet another fucking hack, low grade podcast with shitty audio? I mean, I may have some camera issues every now and again, but I do like to think that the audio comes through nice and clear for you guys, at least, at least give you something to listen to if the visuals suck. But good God almighty, with the funding that these people have, you'd think they could at least buy some microphones or some equipment that could relay these clips onto social media without sounding like it's coming through Donald Trump's fucking ass.
Well, phase one went into it, phase two, phase three, phase four, etc. We didn't get any of it. In fact, we get this memo that says there's nothing. So to your point, you're right. It's very easy in a sense to be in the opposition because all you can do, you can point and you can complain and you can whine and you can criticize. It's simple. It's easy. When you're in, you must govern. When you're in, now you have the responsibility. But I always say that responsibility must be mitigated by, number one, the promises that were made before you went in. If you remember the things that you said, the commitments that you made.
Is this along the lines of the argument from the guy on the Pretty Big Douchebag podcast where he said, like, you're going to have to get the billionaires all upset. Like, you're going to have to rile up some of the rich people. And like, at what cost are you willing to actually hold these people to account? Like, are these young girls that were treated fucking so abhorrently and had crimes perpetrated upon them for years in some cases ended up dead? Is it really worth, having those girls see the people that perpetrated those crimes upon them come to justice? Like the sickos that they are. Or like, what was the other one there that I posted on Blue Sky where it was like, well, it's I think it's legal in Alabama at the age of 16, really. So was Jeffrey Epstein really committing any crimes, folks? I mean, in Kentucky, you can fuck your sister, but, So, I mean, I guess that kind of gets Jeffrey Epstein off the hook. I mean, if he can do that. And of course, I'm paraphrasing and exaggerating on that one, but I mean, it's very much along the lines of what he was saying, where he was calling out the age of consent in some of the red states that we have, and talking about, well, did he actually break the law in these states? Like, shut the fuck up, you sick prick. Like, who even thinks of that argument? Disgusting. Not only that, but it just goes to point out the sick nature of these red states because of the age of consent laws that they have there, because of some of the ridiculous marriage laws that they have. So again, you're just bringing more light to these red states and their ridiculous laws and harmful laws that they have in place, as opposed to making an actual argument or justification for what Jeffrey Epstein did. Jesus Christ.
If you're not making the commitments and staying true to those commitments, then how are you any better? How are you any better than the people that you were previously criticizing and opposing, that aren't you just becoming the thing that which you oppose? And
all right, so here's Jack Posobiec, I guess, calling the Trump administration the Biden administration now, right? Because I think that's the one that they hated the most. That's the one that they continue to talk about the most, is definitely the Biden administration. So now he is seemingly saying that Donald Trump has become everything that he hates.
So what I do believe is, when it comes to something like Epstein, when it comes to something like MAGA, you have to have those clear objectives. And the objective doesn't just mean we're going to get through to.
Yeah. Blather and blather. What's this one? The only two people who were ever arrested, Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. Even Prince Andrew is now free to travel. Let's see what he says in this one.
And now Ghislaine Maxwell. And Russell, I haven't seen any of that with this Jeffrey Epstein client list, the Jeffrey Epstein network. I haven't seen any public hearings or public trials. I don't even have the number off up. It was thousands of people. Thousands of people were rolled up over January 6th. They've all been pardoned now, every single one of them. And yet the only two people who were ever arrested for Jeffrey Epstein were Epstein himself and now Ghislaine Maxwell. Even Prince Andrew is now free to travel again on the basis of this report. And I say it's not good enough.
Well, there's only one person that you need to talk to about that, my friend, and it's the guy sitting in the White House. Which leads us to, again, some of the grossest people on the internet talking about this. I just wanted to share this from what is absolutely one of the sickest people on the internet, in Matt Walsh. Let me see if I'll just make this a little bigger for you guys so you can see it a little better. So this is Matt Walsh, apparently just coming back from vacation to talk about the Epstein debacle. And he says, I've come back from vacation to learn that Epstein apparently wasn't an international child sex trafficker, even though he was arrested for being one. There is no client list, even though Attorney General said she had it on her desk. He didn't kill himself, even though the video proving this point was edited. No prominent or powerful people are implicated, even though dozens of them flew on his plane to his pedophile island. And the whole issue doesn't matter, so we should move on and never talk about it again. Wow. Well, I'm glad that's settled. And again, fuck Matt Walsh to the high heavens. But as long as this is the type of attitude, the type of rhetoric, and the type of, I guess, spirited debate they're willing to have in terms of this Epstein file debacle, Epstein file cover-up that has utterly backfired in Donald Trump's face, then we have to highlight it. Like, we have to do our best to get our fingers in these cracks that are forming in MAGA and pry them open like fucking elevated doors in a time of emergency, right? We have to do our best to get our friggin' pickaxes and our crowbars inside of these cracks and pry them open with every single bit of our strength to make sure that these cracks just continue to grow and grow and grow until they can no longer be filled, until the cracks are so big that everything just continues to fall apart at a rapid rate, right? So when, again, somebody that seemingly, because again, we've talked about this in detail, when you give these people who believe that this is a group of lefties, that this is just a bunch of Democratic politicians on this list, the bait, right? The fucking, when you throw the hook out there and tell them that they're going to have all the information, all of these bad actors that you hate on the left, and Bill Clinton and Bill this and Bill him and Bill who and Bill her, they're all going to get taken down. then they become to foam at the mouth. They start drooling over this. And when you got Pam Bondi coming out and it's going as far as to say she's got it on her desk, right? Oh, it's being reviewed. Oh, I've seen them and it's disgusting. And there's thousands of fucking victims. And oh, we're going to get them. And that just, it winds them up even further. So then when you come out with something like, oh, nope, never mind. Look that way. Nope, definitely wasn't anything that we said. I don't know what you're talking about. What Epstein files? You know, it doesn't tend to go over well with the people that were now hoping to see this like damning information against people on the left, against Democrats, right? So even though MAGA is like, they want this information, they want this to come out, they don't like being lied to, they don't like being duped, it's only because they have been fed this line that it is all Democrats, it's all left-wing politicians and high-profile people that left-wing people love on this list, which is, again, why you see them so mad at Pam Bondi as opposed to Donald Trump himself, who, again, has the motive, has the history, and the current power to make this stuff go away, right? And, again, it's gotten so bad that it brings us to our next clip, our next story, where Dan Bagavigianis himself, the deputy director of the FBI, who was so happy about getting this position and then immediately came out to say that he hated this position, has now, I guess, taken a leave of absence over this whole situation. He has now apparently, or has been reported to have threatened to resign unless Pam Bondi is fired or resigns herself. Let's see if we can take a look at this story. Again, this was posted by Asen at the Midas Touch Network. So let's just take a look, at what this story talks about.
All right, this breaking news. Sources tell CNN that Deputy FBI Director Dan Bongino has told people that he's considering resigning amid a major clash between the FBI and DOJ over the continued fallout from the release or lack thereof.
Is he resigning or is his hairline resigning? Looks like his hairline resigned 3 months ago.
Of the Jeffrey Epstein memo.
Like, hold on. Why is like did they just do his hairline in the same shape of his microphone? Like what is this? Hold on, where is it? Did they just do the outline of his hairline in the same shape, like just to follow the same outline as the microphone? Just looks like a Sorry. Besides the point. Not important, but funny.
Or lack thereof of the Jeffrey Epstein memo. Joining us right now in files, joining us right now on the phone is CNN anchor and chief White House correspondent Caitlin Collins. Caitlin, what more are you learning?
Yeah, Fred, it remains to be seen if he actually follows through with what he has told colleagues. But what we do know is that Dan Bongino has told people.
We go live to Caitlin Collins from her shitta.
He is considering resigning as the deputy director of the FBI over the fallout that has continued ever since this memo was released last Sunday. The anger inside the MAGA base.
No, good connection. You should maybe step outside the bathroom before you make these important phone calls to the to the news.
It has only continued to grow instead of going away, as some officials inside hoped it would. And now our colleagues, along with Christian Holmes, Tanner Rabinowitz, and Evan Perez, we're hearing that he's considering resigning after they had this heated confrontation with the Attorney General Pam Bondi over the handling of this earlier this week.
So it was funny to me to hear that it was reported that he hadn't shown up to work at the office since Wednesday, being last Wednesday when this when it was reported. Not only that, but you got that added onto the story that Kash Patel requested a firearm, even though he doesn't get one assigned to him because he's not an agent. He sits behind a fucking desk. Right? I mean, just goes hand in hand with maybe he's not too happy with the way things have gone, and he might think that people, I don't know, may take some retribution upon the FBI or the DOJ. And if they do, you can almost be damn sure it's going to come from his own side.
And basically, there was a meeting at the White House where the FBI director, Kash Patel, was there, the White House chief of staff, Susie Wiles. They were questioned about whether they were part of a story that there was basically some infighting over how this came out, and this memo that said we're not going to be releasing any more information related to Jeffrey Epstein. And I should note that we are told Bongino denied leaking any story to this outlet that it was reported on. But there has been a lot of fighting.
Oh, all right. So there was a little meeting between him and Susie Wiles because it seems like a little story came out with only information that somebody on the inside might have access to. And it looks like maybe Dan Bongino might have been the culprit. Huh? Looks like maybe that might have something to do with it in the background as well. Has anybody seen any further reporting on this? Because I know this was, let me just see. I just want to make sure. Dan Bongino. I'll just make sure that this is the latest. I'm giving you the latest. Day ago, Dan Bongino weighs quitting over Trump. Administration handling of Epstein files. 20 hours ago, furor over Epstein. Sparks clash between Bondi and Bongino at the Justice Department. Doesn't seem like there's been any further developments as far as just his, dissatisfaction, his frustrations with the way things are being handled, as far as I can see. So again, another one of these things we'll keep our eye on as far as whether or not he stays or he goes, whether or not he has any sway behind the scenes on whether or not the stuff actually comes out. My thought would be absolutely not, considering the man himself that has everything to lose from these files being released is the president himself.
Between Attorney General Pam Bondi specifically and the leadership over at the FBI over who's to blame in this situation. I think the context here is obviously Dan Bongino, Kash Patel. They came from this MAGA world where they themselves had pushed a lot of questions about the so-called client list that Epstein had before.
No, what you mean to say is they pretty much made their entire career based upon and predicated on the fact that they were willing to go to any lengths in order to see the people behind the Epstein list, the people on the Epstein list, held to account, brought to justice. And now, as soon as they get into the positions of power that allow them to do exactly that, the evidence seemingly disappears. Not only do we not get it released, but there is none. We're told not to look at it anymore. We're told to look the other way. Don't even talk about it anymore. This was written by Obama. It was written by Joe Biden. They sat down and they wrote the Epstein files, is what Donald Trump wants you now to believe, which is fucking stupendously hilarious.
Beforehand, and now the MAGA base is just not pleased or satisfied with what they've said in this memo that came out unsigned from the Justice Department and the FBI on Sunday night. So what we are told is Dan Bongino did not show up to work today, that he is essentially not there out of protest. But whether or not he actually follows through on this still remains to be seen. We're still reporting that out. But
all right, so we'll keep our eye on that. As we said, Dan Bongino's frustrations spilling over into the public, as it were, now threatening to resign if Pam Bondi is not fired or resigns herself. Again, just gets more beautiful, gets more delicious with every one of these stories, as far as the cracks forming, as far as certain MAGA factions being mad at certain other MAGA factions. It is really, really a thing to behold, a sight of beauty, a thing of beauty. So, yeah. And then this is just to get into our next story here. I just wanted to get into a little bit to see if the story of Jeffrey Epstein, of this cover-up, was covered at all with Donald Trump's recent interview with Lara Trump. I know we can't stand watching him, so I am going to speed it up to 1.25 speed. So anybody that's watching this, just to let you know, I am speeding it up. We are working on a little clip, a little thing that I could put up to let you know that the clip is sped up, just so you're not curious on whether or not if he's drunk or anything like that. But yeah, this is from 7/12/2025. Lara Trump. I just want to see again if they talk about anything pertaining with the Epstein files. If not, we'll get right off this, because I'm sure there's nothing more to be gleaned or gained from this. So let's just see what they get into here. Lara Trump, Donald Trump, July 12th.
Good evening. Hope you're having a great Saturday night.
I am.
On live television.
Oh, that's another thing too. That's another thing, talking about the Senate, this quote unquote Senate report that came out about Donald Trump's assassination attempt in Butler, Pennsylvania, and how absolutely no more answers came from that. Let's see here if we can do. I just want to show you this. show you even more. What's her name there? God damn it, I only forget her name. What's the girl? Black hair. Was on the Trump plane. Was known for a little happy time with Donald Trump. Oh, Lara Loomer, that's her name. Couldn't think of her name. She posted about this said situation. Let's see here. Trump assassination. See if that brings it up. Because she's not happy with the lack of answers as well. Let's see here. Posting this. No. Trying to get the latest on this, please. For some reason, it's always the first thing to pop up when I don't want to see it, but then when I am trying to pull it up, there's nothing to talk about. But basically, she brings up her frustrations over the fact checks and the credibility and the lack of information stemming from that assassination attempt, and basically the lack of information that is to be seen or learned from the Senate report or so-called Senate report. I don't know. I'll see if I can find it while you guys are watching this. But let's see if we can get into this interview for a second here.
The harrowing moments unfolding while America and his family watched. But the shooting didn't just shake the country, it galvanized it. It reminded millions what was at stake and why Donald J. Trump's return to the People's House was all but destined. And the impact of that day is still felt today. Accountability is finally taking shape. 6 Secret Service agents tasked with protecting President Trump and Butler.
Oh, that's what we talked about this last night on the YouTube Zoom. Like this. Hold on, guys. Are you ready for this breaking news information that we're going to break to you right now? It has been found out, and we have come to the conclusion now through an extensive Senate report that because a young individual managed to get on top of a rooftop with a loaded weapon within a certain distance of the President of the United States, within a direct line of fire, we have now come to the conclusion. What's up, Wes? What's going on? What's happening? Well, that's your opinion, I guess, right? But it's hard to say that when the Department of Justice the head of the Department of Justice said that list was absolutely on her desk, and that people were definitely going to be held responsible. But I appreciate the contributions. I know everybody's got their inputs, everybody's got their opinions and thoughts and theories on what is actually the case, what is the actual truth, and I guess only time will tell in that. But we can only go by what we've been told. And as you heard Megyn Kelly say, either Pam Bondi was lying then or she's lying now. There's no in between, right? There's no ifs, ands, or buts. And if she's lying then or lying now, there's got to be a reason why she is lying in either one of these situations. So I appreciate it. Let's see if we can. Oh, that's what I want to say. So that's the big conclusion that we came to, is that the Secret Service messed up. In case you didn't already know that by allowing somebody with a loaded weapon to get on top of a rooftop within a direct line of sight, direct line of fire of the President of the United States, that in some way the Secret Service botched this detail, botched this situation. In case that, I just wanted, that is a breaking piece of news, ladies and gentlemen, from this Senate report.
Were suspended. And the president, well, he isn't just back, he's stronger than ever. 6 months into his historic second term, he's already sealed the southern border, signed the big, beautiful bill, and in doing so...
That's crazy. Sealed that southern border that he sealed the first time, but didn't finish the wall, but stole money from his own supporters, in which Steve Bannon got arrested on a Chinese billionaire's yacht. I mean, it gets convoluted. It gets complicated really quickly when we talk about this, but I'm going to skip ahead because I don't give a shit about her praise of this loser. I just want to see where they sit down together. All right, here we go.
I think the many presidents in history throughout the term of their entire term in office. A lot of people look at what you've done, though, and they say, had you not had 4 years in between, maybe all this success would not be possible. Do you agree with that?
Well, experience is very important in life. I think talent is more important than experience. But
I'm trying to see if they have a chyron that that relates directly to anything going on with the Epstein files, just so I can maybe expedite this process. Let's see here. talking about tariffs in Mexico, talking about the floods. Trump on his family's role in his success. Nope. Praises his children. Cabinet meetings, first term, second term. Trump reflects on his first term. I don't give a shit about that either. Trump says open borders drove him to run again. I don't give a shit about that either. Trump on restoring border security. I don't give a shit about that either. Tout success at the border. I don't give a shit about that either. Oh, here we go. President Trump, the law and order president. There's got to be some hypocrisies in here that we could laugh at. So let's check this out.
At the White House during such a busy week. Up next, we'll talk to the president's favorite honorary officer, DJ Daniel, next on My View. Welcome back to My View. President Trump is tough when it comes to the safety and security of this nation. He invests in our nation's law enforcement and opens his heart to crime victims and their families. But there may be another person who's just as passionate about our nation.
All right, so I'm not going to get into that. Let them soak up, play on your heartstrings. All right, so apparently they didn't want to bring it up, as I guess we probably could have guessed in that situation, right? Lara Trump definitely not willing to bring up the whole Epstein file problem, the old Epstein file issue on her own show there on Fox News. They're eating the lobsters. They're eating the cats and the lobsters. They're eating the dogs.
Eating the dogs, the people that came in, they're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there.
And don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, what that statement, what that ridiculous comment was pertaining to when he was talking about legal immigrants, legal asylum seekers, people doing it the legal way as far as Haitian immigrants. Remember that whole thing? So when you talk about, when you hear people say, well, I didn't vote for this. What's that stupid friggin' comic's name? He's got the podcast there. Supposedly, what's his name? Andrew something. Fuck, none of these people are important enough for me to remember their name. Got the mustache, the stupid fucking Hitler haircut. The fuck's the kid's name? He came out pretty much, again, with a statement against the Trump administration, at least lightly. But again, talking about that's not what he voted for. No, this is absolutely what he voted for. What do you think those signs saying mass deportations now meant? Right? What do you think the signs that said mass roundups meant? You fucking morons. Because this is exactly what you voted for. That's exactly what you voted for. Schultz. Yeah, Andrew Schultz. Thanks, Lisa. I appreciate it. Again, none of these losers are worth the time, energy, or space in my brain to remember their names. All right. So what should we get into next, ladies and gentlemen? Because that friggin' Lara Trump interview turned out to be done. Again, I have no interest on viewing or watching or showing the propaganda that Lara Trump is going to spew, or the lies, or the rewriting of history for Trump's first term. So what do you say? Let's just see if we can check on what the latest in the news here is. I'll just go over some of the stories. New documentary explores how shooter accessed Trump Butler event for assassination. Yeah, he got on the roof. That's how he accessed it. Let's see here. MAG, something about rakes, Kash Patel over the Nicoles, over the new Epstein statement. What do you stay here? Let's see if we can see. This is from the Daily Beast. Daily Beast. The MAGA mob has aimed its pitchforks at FBI Director Kash Patel after he dismissed claims of a conspiracy theory over disgraced financier Jeffrey Epstein's death. Patel took to X to quell rumors that he was quitting the Bureau over the Epstein file, saying he served at President Trump's pleasure while also promising that no smoking gun lay in the Epstein files. The conspiracy theories just aren't true, never have been, he wrote on Saturday. It's an honor to serve the President of the United States, and I'll continue doing so for as long as he calls on me. That was Patel's statement on X on Saturday. Again, probably in reference to the situation going on with Dan Bag of Vaginas and his apparent willingness to resign or quit over the handling or mishandling of the Epstein files. So it seemingly was something necessary for Kash to come out and address. We also have the Trump imposing tariffs on Canada, Trump imposing tariffs on Brazil, as well as several other countries in the recent weeks. Again, not realizing that we ourselves as a country pay these tariffs. once again praising and lauding these tariffs as something that the other countries were going to have to pay and that we would benefit from somehow, when it's just the opposite. But yeah, let's just see here. What are some other stories that we could get into? I know I wanted to take a look at what else was going on with here's another one that we should definitely take a look at. Was this later? Was this earlier before? Hold on, let's see if I can share this tab instead. This is funny as hell. Let me see if I can get here, go to here, bring this here. Let's see what question. Why is the FBI not releasing the Epstein list? Asked directly of Kash Patel if this is a new interview of Benny Johnson here. Let's see what he says.
You say that the FBI has Epstein's list. They're sitting on it. That doesn't seem like something you should do. You're protecting the world's foremost predator. That seems like an evil thing to do, regardless of who may be embarrassed in the release of that list. Why is the FBI protecting the greatest pederast, the largest scale pederast in human history?
Simple, because of who's on that list. You don't think that Bill Gates is lobbying Congress night and day to prevent the disclosure of that list?
Now, this must be, if I'm not mistaken, this must be from earlier on. This must be from an earlier interview that he did, right? Let me know in the chat. This got to be something that they're bringing up to kind of stick in Patel's face, where he had once referenced this, why this was being, held behind the scenes.
You say that the FBI has Epstein.
All right, so that was it on that one. Let's see if there's any more here clips that we can get into. Maybe this is the one I was talking about. Was this the one I was talking about? Is this where Lara Luma kind of goes off? Again, take notice, ladies and gentlemen, and I apologize for the sights. If you just want to, kind of put your hand over the screen while she's speaking and you can just hear what she's saying, I totally get that. But this is Lara Luma, apparently, once again, going after Pam Bondi and roasting Trump's cabinet, but not Trump specifically. Again, to continue the theme of these soulless, sackless, mindless, heartless MAGA freaks on the right, to continue to show the fact that they don't really care about getting to the bottom of this. They don't really care about getting all the answers to this, because you can tell they're not calling out the right people.
My name is Pam Bondi, and I'm the Attorney General of the United States. And let me tell you, Ainsley, let me tell you, Peter, those Epstein files were delivered to my office in a dump truck, in a big FBI dump truck. And there's a lot of real powerful men on those lists. And
I'm still not sure why she has a self-made mask of herself in the background. Just seems a little pretentious to me to have a mask of your own face in the background of your own podcast. Just seems a little pretentious. I almost didn't even want the name of the podcast. I just thought that might have been too pretentious, right? Maybe even the sign, my Ukrainian license plate with my name, thought that might have been too pretentious. But definitely a mask of your own face is too pretentious for me.
there's a lot of really powerful people, I'll tell you, Sean, who are about to take private jets out of our country. But I'm Pam Bondi, the best attorney general you've ever seen in this country, and I'm going to hold these people accountable. Oh, well, golly, Sean, I guess I misspoke when I said the files were on my desk. I guess I misspoke when I said that the files were going to be delivered in a dump truck. I mean, every day it's another story with this woman. And it's not just me. Look, I'm going to play the video clips for you tonight, and we're going to go through the timeline, and you're going to see yourself.
I know, Laura. It's almost like it's too much to all, it's almost like it's too much to take in. It's almost like it's too much to believe that Pam Bondi herself is solely responsible for this cover-up, right? It's almost like it's too much to comprehend. The fact that Pam Bondi herself would perpetrate this whole lie, one coming out and saying that she had all of this information in the list, and then B coming out and saying this stuff doesn't exist, right? It's almost like it doesn't make sense that she herself would think to perpetrate this cover-up. It's almost like there must be somebody else in a position a little bit higher than hers that has the power to maybe instruct the DOJ or the FBI to, I don't know, maybe cover up or sweep this under the rug. It's almost like that makes a lot more sense than Pam Bondi herself coming up with this whole scheme of covering up this the Epstein files.
But The problem is we are witnessing a
And thank you so much, Colleen. I really do appreciate you and everybody else that's contributed, whether it be $1, $2, a Venmo, signing up to be a member, signing up to be a patron at patreon.com/Boston Brian. You guys literally keep this show running, and it's only with your kind contributions to this channel that we do continue to make this show a thing that happens, a thing that we can actually put on, a thing that we can actually make it so you are viewing it, right? So again, I never miss an opportunity to say thank you to you guys, to show my appreciation for you guys, and for your support, your continued support. Everybody that shows up to the Patreon Zooms, everybody that showed up to the YouTube Zooms, everybody that contributes in the chat, all the mods, all of you guys play a huge role. Everybody that likes, shares, subscribes to the channel. We're trying to get to 15K as far as subscribers. I don't think that's too much of an ask. So I really do appreciate it. If you have not yet, subscribe to the channel, hop out, hit subscribe. I will. It's free. I really would appreciate it. It goes a long way. Hit the notification bell. That way you don't have to keep up with my schedule. You can just, get the notification every time I go live. That really helps as well. But thank you guys. I appreciate it. Colleen, everybody that's contributed already on this show. I really do appreciate it.
News cabinet. It's like a reality TV cabinet. And everybody knows I love President Trump. I support President Trump. I think a lot of his cabinet picks are great people. But a lot of these people were selected out of what he likes to call central casting. And, there's some people on there.
I like President Trump. I support President Trump. But I am unwilling to call him out when it is blatantly obvious, couldn't be more clear, that he himself is behind the scenes perpetrating this cover-up of the Epstein files that he himself is named in several times over, to hide from the fact that he, in several lawsuits, is directly named in disgusting and lewd acts. He himself has been photographed in compromising situations with stains on his pants. He himself has talked about how he and Jeffrey Epstein like him young. He himself has been photographed and filmed with Jeffrey Epstein. So to combat all of this, I had to add more money. My account balance was 666. Yikes. Thank you, Colleen. I appreciate that. And you know what? Sometimes the mark of the devil is not a bad thing. Right? I'm just saying. But I appreciate you, Colleen. Thank you so much. And thank you so much for sticking around when I know all of this becomes overwhelming and frustrating to a point of wanting to quit. And I appreciate that all of you fine people continue to make the choice to stay involved and stay active as much as you do. So thank you. Chewy! Let's go, Chewy. Aloha, my friend. Aloha. I appreciate that. 16 months. Let's fucking go, bro. Let's fucking go. Can't even believe I've been doing this 16 months, right? Never mind just having people that have been dedicated to this stream, dedicated to this platform and helping this channel for 16 months. Thank you guys. Really, though. Thank you. I appreciate it. Really do appreciate it.
Who had popular podcasts or people who had popular shows or people who have been on Fox News a lot, or maybe they posted some nice things about President Trump. And now they're in the cabinet and they really don't deserve to be in the cabinet. And
wait a minute. Lara, are you trying to tell me right now that Donald Trump doesn't pick the best people? That he doesn't hire the best people? That he doesn't have the best words and the best brain? Is that what you're telling me? Is that, it just really all it takes is somebody that, I don't know, said something nice about him, complimented him once, maybe covered up for him for something once. That's really all it takes to get them into these hugely important positions of power in the federal government of the United States. Is that what you're telling me right now? Because it sounds like that's what you're telling me when you say that, the people in his the people in his cabinet aren't very bright and are really only there because they said nice things. That's what you're saying, right?
popular shows or people who have been on Fox News a lot, or maybe they posted.
Whoa, Joey, come on, brother. I was more than happy enough with your contributions as far as a channel membership for 16 long months. But here he has to go and outdo himself by gifting 20 memberships. Thank you so much, Chewy. What a huge contribution to the channel. Thank you so much. And now 20 fabulous members of this chat who didn't previously have a membership to the channel are now going to get one because of Chewy's unbelievable generosity, right? So please make sure that we're thanking Chewy in the chat. whether or not you received one of the memberships or not, because it does go a long way to help this community, and you as a part of the community do benefit from that. So thank you, Chewy. I appreciate that very, very much. Really, really do.
Some nice things about President Trump. And now they're in the cabinet and they really don't deserve to be in the cabinet. And Pam Blondie is one of those people. Here you go. Here's the Daily Beast article. We have this pulled up right here. Laura Loomer attacks Fox.
She might need a bigger screen, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not sure she quite fit a large enough screen. What is this camera work? So what we're going to do is going to put a 447-inch TV. We're going to put a 9,000-inch monitor right here, right, Lara? We're going to put your microphone directly in the fucking frame, directly in the center of frame of said 9,000 square-inch television. That could possibly just be a projector as well on the wall. But either way, we're going to stick your microphone directly in frame, directly in screen, right in the middle. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put you directly to the right of that so people can't read the entire title. And then we're going to then pick up half of your bookcase and the entirety of the self mask, the Lara Loomer self-help mask that you can buy behind your right shoulder there. What is this horse shit? Jesus Christ. And I'm struggling to get 15,000 subscribers? Good Lord. My show looks fucking 10 times better than this does.
Fox News Barbie, Pam Bondi over Epstein list. I was joking the other day, but I'm also...
Let me read it to you because I know you can't see it because my friggin' fat forehead, my huge schnoz is in the way. And even if that weren't an issue, the enormous microphone and microphone stand that is completely in the way, only revealing and allowing to have my face be seen on this article. That would be a problem. So I'm going to have to read this entire thing out for you.
Not joking because it's not a joke. It's actually real. I try to tag her from her official government account because she actually blocked me from her personal account because she got...
Like, at what point does it become annoying to have lips that get in the way of you communicating with the world? Like, at what point is it like, okay, I'm struggling now to move these lips in order to get my fucking voice out? Because it doesn't look comfortable. This just does not look like she's speaking comfortably or like it's easy to get the words out. I just don't understand the look. I just will never understand the look. And to each their own, right? I guess not really what I should be criticizing. There's way more to be criticizing as far as her policies and the stories. But it's just, I don't know. It just seems difficult. Seems like she's straining in order to get the words out.
Government account because she actually blocked me from her personal account because she got so upset with me calling her out over Bindergate months ago, back in February when she screwed up.
Okay, so that's Lara Loomer and what she had to say apparently over this. Here's RFK being questioned by News Nation about his plane rides with Jeffrey Epstein. Let's take a look at this. Let's take a look at what RFK is going to say here.
I think the government keeps too many secrets, and I think it's important for the American public to know whether Jeffrey Epstein had some kind of corrupt influence on public officials or any public figure. And those are the kind of, it's suspicious that the government has been unwilling to release those documents. And I think that every document associated with Jeffrey Epstein should be released.
So to be clear, you're not concerned about anything that could come out about you and Jeffrey Epstein?
My plane rides with Jeffrey Epstein, I took 2 plane rides with him. Once in 1993, when I went down to visit my mother in Palm Beach. Remember, nobody knew about anything about Jeffrey Epstein's nefarious activities till 2000.
No, but you know who should have known is the people closest to him, right? Maybe the people on the plane that he's flying these underage girls on. You maybe if you're close enough to get a fucking plane ride with Jeffrey Epstein, maybe you should have been one of the ones to realize what he was engaged in, right? Or maybe you did realize what he was engaged in and just kept your mouth shut there. Now, is this an old one too, or is this a new one? Either way, the hypocrisy of the shit that they've either said previously or now continue to say in interviews is ridiculous. And the fact that, this clip here is not directly damning to Donald Trump as far as, oh, why the government is covering this up and why nothing has come out as far as this. And if it's, if he held any power against or over the heads of any, political officials or powerful politicians, then we should know about it. Cut to right now.
Jeffrey Epstein, I took.
I flew on this plane. What was that? I think it was twice. I flew on his plane. One was in January 1993 at 7:17 p.m. The other one was 1996, January 16th at 14:14 military time. Not that I remember those specifically or off the top of my head, but those were the two times that I flew on the plane. Right? So now you got people or statements from people that are now inside Donald Trump's government calling for, the corruption as far as the government not letting these files come out to be ended. Is this a news? Is this a new News Nation interview, or is this like the? Oh no, this is from July 8th. He reposted it, so maybe this is from him just kind of bringing up information. Bringing to light different clips and different statements that people directly involved with this have said over the years or in different interviews to now directly correlate that with what's going on now with the cover-up inside Trump's regime. So here's Tim Pool again. Actually, there was a clip of Tim Pool. We do have time, so let's take a look at this clip, and then we'll get into, I think there was another clip of Tim that I wanted to take a look at. Stop. Pertaining to the Epstein files. Let's see what he had to say in this short clip here.
My view is, what kind of world will come tomorrow if elite billionaire pedophiles get away with what they've done? We know they got away with what they've done. You're not preserving anything but a moldy piece of cake. You can say the American experiment resulted in this delicious, moist vanilla cake with cream cheese frosting and salted caramel swirls. And at this point, it is moldy and disgusting. And the argument is, but we still have cake. If there are elite, powerful individuals that have done what they've claimed to do.
I thought you guys cracked me up. You guys cracked me up. That was like 6 in a row of just straight dimples. I thought it was going to keep going. All right, sorry.
It sickens me to think they're sitting there with their feet up going, I am so important, I can do whatever I want without consequence. And the message that sends. My view is...
Now, who right now could we think of that is conveying this message of, I am so important that we don't really have to speak of these things anymore, right? Let's get that one more time, Tim, at the end of what you just said. What was that? What was that? One more time.
It sickens me to think they're sitting there with their feet up going, I am so important, I can do whatever I want without consequence. And
now, who do we think is sitting back right now with his feet up saying he can do anything without consequence because of the power that he holds and the position that he holds, that also at the same time has direct involvement with this case, direct involvement with criminalities as far as it pertains to Jeffrey Epstein and his ring of pedophilia? Is there anybody that we could possibly point to, like right now, that we don't have to even think about for 2 seconds, that has all of those things checked, all of those boxes marked? Is there anybody that we could, I'm having a tough time, but in my brain, it's just like, it would be the easy thing is to say, Donald Trump as president has all the power, has all the reason, has all the motive, has the involvement in the history to make this shit disappear or want to disappear. But let me continue to attack Pam Bondi. Let me continue to attack Dan Bongino and Kash Patel, who, again, I believe are being used as political pawns, right? Being used for the positions that they hold. This is the exact reasons why, again, let's not get this twisted, guys, right? Let's not get this twisted. And thank you very much for watching. If you're just joining me now, I'm Boston Brian. This is Blunt Politics. I appreciate you very much. Make sure you hit the like button, share, subscribe to the channel. We're on our way to 15K. I would very much help your support in getting to that milestone. And it's only with your help and support that we continue to make this channel grow and survive. So thank you very much. But I want to be very, very clear here. This is the reason why Pam Bondi, this is the reason why Kash Patel and Dan Bag of Vaginas hold the positions that they now hold, is for this exact reason. is so when this moment came up, when Donald Trump were to tap them on the shoulder or give them a little fucking jingle, a little ring-a-ling, and say, hey, it's come time now because Elon's deciding to bring this up as far as my involvement in the Epstein files. I think it's time to make this stuff disappear once and for all, right? I know you've been talking about it on your shows for the last 10 years plus about how you want accountability and justice and how you would do anything to make this list come out and expose the truth. But we're not going to make that happen. What we're going to do is you're going to go out and say that this doesn't exist anymore, that it was written by Democrats and that nobody should be publicizing or talking about this anymore. And then we're just going to go on like this doesn't exist. Right? So.
Message that sends. My view is, what kind of world will come tomorrow if elite billionaire pedophiles get...
All right, I'll just say bagaginas. Bago, Dan, Bago, Baga. I don't know. You guys give me a different nickname and I'll go with it. Give me a different nickname and I'll go with it.
away with what they've done? We know they got away with what they've done. You're not preserving anything. But
sorry, we just watched that. That's my apologies. I got so wrapped up in his bullshit that I decided to click it again. Oh, all right. So let's see. This is Benny Johnson talking about Trump's post here. Let's see what Benny Johnson has to say about Trump's long paragraph, screed, nonsensical rant, telling everybody to look the other way and that it was written by Democrats. Let's just go into this before we round out the show here. All right. Let's see what bullshit we can get into here.
Okay. So President Trump has acknowledged that the Epstein files exist here. President Trump has acknowledged that the files were written and that there is something there. He says that they were written, however, by his enemies and therefore will not be released. Whoa, what?
Bag of Cheetos. I can do bag of Cheetos. It's not bad. Yeah, Bongolio's kind of played out. Not saying it's bad, but everybody uses it, right? Bong Cheetos, not bad. Bonobos. Dan Bag of Holio. We'll go with the bag of Cheetos, right? We could do that one. Rachel says MAGA is 100% ride or die. Good sir, bad boyars. Well, they are. I mean, we can see that. We can see that they are here with the cover up, right? With, again, trying to separate Donald Trump from this whole situation as far as who could be perpetrating the cover up. But it remains to be seen. Again, that's why we have to do our best to get our hands inside these cracks and make sure these cracks continue to grow and grow and grow as opposed to mend and get smaller, right? Because I'm not saying that any of these people are going to split. I'm not saying that any of these people are going to come out and all of a sudden be lefties or, come out and attack Donald Trump, because obviously that's not what we're seeing. But if we can see them in any way, especially if they're just talking about this as far as answers, even if they are just going after Pam Bondi, we can see by Donald Trump's statement that upsets him just as much. He's just as mad about anybody talking about this as it relates to Pam Bondi's incompetence as he is talking about his involvement in this, right? So it kind of has the same effect. Because it just keeps it in the news, just keeps it in the minds of people, right? By talking about this, because that's what ultimately Donald Trump wants it to go away. He wants people to stop talking about this altogether, whether you be on the left, right, or otherwise. He wants this to be something of the past, never brought up again, so that he can fade into oblivion, into his casket, without ever having had to have been brought to justice or account for his crimes in this situation. Right, so let's just continue with this.
That's new in this entire zeitgeist. This is something that is wildly interesting. And then he goes all in on supporting Kash Patel and Pam Bondi. No mention of Dan Bongino, where all of this, again, would sort of transpire.
All right, so that was him basically just kind of giving the rundown. It looks like, let's see here, Tim, this was part of the clip. We probably won't have enough time to get into the full clip I wanted to play, but this is at least part of the clip where he said, what kind of world is it if tomorrow billionaire pedophiles get away with what they've done? Let's just see if we can play this as well here.
American experiment result. My view is, what kind of world will come tomorrow if elite billionaire pedophiles get away with what they've done, we know they got away with what they've done. You're not preserving anything but a moldy piece of cake.
Well, just to kind of refresh your memory, we've been living and are living in that exact society where billionaires not only get excused for their pedophilia, not only get excused for their sexual abuses, not only get excused for their financial crimes, not only get excused for their tax dodging, not only get excused for their shady dealings with politicians and the money they feed into politicians in the background, but they also get off of the crimes, like we saw Donald Trump get off of his crimes. Like we've seen multiple powerful people in the past get off of their crimes solely due to their fame and their power and their financial abilities and capabilities. So I hate to break it to you, Tim, but we are in that. And these Epstein files have been known about for a long time, and the billionaires in them have been known about for a long time, and none of them have been held to account. So I don't understand why you're making it seem like all of a sudden this is happening tomorrow, because this is a reality that has pervade and we have been living in for a long time now.
You can say the American experiment resulted in this delicious, moist vanilla cake with cream cheese frosting.
Oh, sorry. That was the one that was the beginning of the last one that we played there. And this is just a few more clips from the Turning Points pack there, where Charlie Kirk obviously had his bullshit, but the volume was too low to understand. Yes, Bicycle Mike, I am absolutely with you, buddy. Not only in spirit, not only in heart and mind, but also in rhetoric there as well. Absolutely, fuck cancer. We are with you, buddy. Wishing you the best as well. Please keep us updated on how the treatments are going, please, because we are absolutely worried and concerned, and definitely want to stay updated on how everything's going, Mike. So please, wish you the best. Like I said, thoughts and prayers are with you, and fucking keep fighting, my man. Keep fighting. That's all you can do. One day at a time, right? One day at a time. I know. I got you. And please keep us updated on how everything goes, please. We'll be thinking about you. All right, buddy? We'll be thinking about you. All right. I appreciate you guys. You guys want to just see if we got about 10 minutes remaining before I got to get into thanking you wonderful people. Let's just see what we can find on the old YouTubes. Let's see what we can find on the old tubesy there. I know there's got to be something that we can talk about as far as MAGA is concerned. Or do you guys want to talk about, just real quick, we can go over Trump's tariffs, the new tariffs that are in place, just to keep you guys updated on that, because I know that's a story that's tough to keep track of. I know that's a story that's tough to keep up on. But let's just see here. This is 5 hours ago. Just a local news report. Might give you a little bit of... Oh, no, let's check out the BBC's coverage of this. Just because I like I like watching coverage from people that are, seemingly neutral in this. So to see what they can see on one side and see what they see on the other side, and then come to their conclusions, as opposed to, United States media, who definitely has an agenda, who definitely has benefactors and donors that have an agenda that they want to see enacted. So let's just see here what the BB says about not only the EU and the Mexico tariffs, but also their criticisms of Donald Trump as it pertains to these tariffs. Let me see if I can bring this in for you. We'll get into this just a little bit, and then I'll get into thanking you wonderful people for your amazing contributions to this channel. Susan, that is a great question. I will be sure to reach out via email. Has anybody seen his podcast? I've been so busy here trying to get set up in California. I haven't really had time to watch anybody else's stuff, but has his podcast, his show On the Edge, still been going out regularly since the uptick in strikes has been occurring? I'd be curious to see, and really hopeful that he is doing well still. So let's just get into a little bit of this before I run out of time. Obviously, please feel free to wish Philip Ittner, our buddy Philip Ittner, in Ukraine, the best. Chris Doug says Phil is okay. All right. It's been a couple weeks since I've spoken to him, so I got to make sure to get back in contact, make sure he's doing well. But thank you for bringing that up in the chat. I appreciate you guys. All right, BBC's coverage of Trump's recent tariffs and the recent criticisms of the tariffs. Here we go.
Union and Mexico have expressed disappointment after President Trump said he would impose 30% tariffs on their exports to the US from August. The president of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen, posted on social media saying a 30% tariff on EU exports would hurt businesses, consumers, and patients on both sides of the Atlantic. She added,
Again, Donald Trump and his regime making this a pay-to-play situation as far as trading with the United States. Basically making it so you have to come with us, dollar bills in fist, to get on your knees, to kiss the boot, to show that you are ready and loyal enough to do business and trade with the United States. We've read some of the ridiculous letters that have been sent out by the Trump regime to places like Japan, to different African nations, to different nations all over the globe as it pertains to tariffs and how shoddily written they are, how grammatically incorrect they are, how childish they sound, right? How demeaning and degrading they are to our trade partners, our allies. Thank you, AI. Let's fucking go. Little $5 contributions to make sure that Philip stays safe. I appreciate that. And again, I'll be sure to pass on the concern of the chat when I email Philip later on today, because I want to definitely get in touch with him again, have him on so we can talk about the recent developments. Oh, Shiza, man, before I forget, how the frig could I forget this? Well, not that I forgot, but I kind of waited too long. On Tuesday's podcast, ladies and gentlemen, I am very happy, very excited, very proud, very honored to announce that we will be having on none other than the one and only retired Capitol Police Officer Harry Dunn on the podcast Tuesday. So make sure you are here. Make sure you're here for that. That's going to be something to tune into. Very excited about that. Again, Harry and I met on a recent aid mission to Ukraine. So not only will we get to talk about our stories involving that, but also what he thinks about different aspects of politics and what U.S. politics and what's going on right now, where he thinks we should be fighting, what he's been up to. I know he's doing a lot of work as far as speaking engagements, podcasts and stuff. So make sure you check out his work. But yes, Tuesday, we'll be checking out our interview, our sit-down interview with none other than Harry Dunn, retired Capitol Police Officer. Let's see if I can bring this in here for you guys just to show you, because I know Mel worked hard on this one. Oh, and this one as well. Let me bring in the right one. It's going to be this one. So just made a little graphic to remind you guys of Harry's appearance. So here we go. It's going to be Tuesday, 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern time. Again, make sure you hit the bell on that one so you get the live update, the live notification when we do go on. But again, I'm hugely excited for that. Hugely honored to be at a point, I guess, in this podcast life where we could have on such distinguished guests. Such people of prominence, people that are very well known in the political zeitgeist, very well known and respected for their actions. So again, thank you guys, because it's only because of the support of you guys that we are in the position and have the ability to have on such fantastic guests like Harry Dunn. So make sure you guys tell people, make sure you guys share out the fact that we are going to have Harry on Tuesday, because I'm sure there are a lot of his fans and followers that would love to check that out. So I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. I just wanted to, before we got too deep into that, before people started heading to the exits, let you know about that one as well. All right, let's just get into just a little bit more of this.
The European Union will continue working towards an agreement by August the 1st. Europe, along with Mexico, are Mr. Trump's latest targets. In 1 week, he's announced higher duties on 25 countries he says are exploiting the United States. He says these will encourage US consumers to buy more American-made goods. France's President Emmanuel Macron says he's in very strong disapproval of President Trump's announcement. If no agreement's reached, the French leader suggested the EU plans speeding up the preparation of credible countermeasures. Italy's Prime Minister, meanwhile, Giorgia Meloni, said in a statement it would make no sense to trigger a trade war between the two sides of the Atlantic, whilst the Dutch Prime Minister Dick Schoof posted on social media saying the EU must remain united and resolute in its aim to reach a mutually beneficial deal with the US. Wendy Cutler's
strange, and it's a shame to have to see these people do what I call the 1-2 step, the old moonwalk around what they know to be an incompetent, ignorant fool in Donald Trump, but also trying to respect and weigh the help and support and the benefits of a trade partnership and a good relationship with not only the United States, but the office of the presidency, right? So, you can see these leaders do the juggling that they have to do in order to weigh these two things in their minds, while also playing the game that they have to play as, world leaders, as heads of state, in order to keep relations, good relations with the United States, regardless of who's in power, regardless of who's sitting at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, right?
President of the Asia Society Policy Institute. She says Mr. Trump's 30% tariff on the EU took her by surprise.
My understanding is negotiations with the EU are progressing well and, frankly, progressing better than our negotiations with many other partners. So I have to believe this is some kind of either a display of Trump's frustration that somehow the deal hasn't been struck yet, or an attempt to gain some negotiating leverage, which I'm not sure it's going to accomplish.
Or is it maybe a way to gain back some favor with Vladimir Putin, right? To see that he's taking a strong aim against the EU. Is this in some way Donald Trump's attempt to once again gain favor with Vladimir Putin, so that Vladimir Putin may somehow listen, may somehow let up on his strikes, may somehow come to the table in order for peace talks to take place, right? This is all what Donald Trump is thinking, or what I'm speculating he is thinking, right? Because we've seen him come out in recent days against Vladimir Putin, talking about how, what Vladimir Putin says is all bullshit, how he intends to continue to send weapons, what he calls defensive weapons, to Ukraine. But this just could be a way for him, again, to say, hey, just to let you know, I am still going strong at the EU. I am still going strong against certain players in this race that you may, have some advantage in here. So, hey, look at me. I'm willing to play ball just a little bit. Can you give me a little bit of something that I can somehow look like a strong man once again, as opposed to the fool that I've been made to look like by Vladimir Putin for the time he's been in office, considering his inability to end this war, his inability to sit down with the two leaders and get this thing settled like he said he was going to have settled within 24 hours of being elected, right? So Yvonne says, tariffs take years to set up. 3 years is good if you're lucky. Trump doesn't have a clue what he's doing. Absolutely. Like you said, we do understand on the left that tariffs have, specific and detailed and very, very, very organized and detailed and specific ways that they can be used to the benefit, right? But to do this broad, general 30% tariff on the EU and Mexico and Canada and the rest of the fucking countries all over the planet is just an idiotic way to govern. And again, it's just setting us up for failure. He has not lowered the cost of housing. He has not lowered the cost of goods. Nothing is cheaper in this country. Inflation is once again ticking up. So all the things that he said he was going to do in his campaign, all the things that he said he was going to do for the American people, for the American workers, all the things that he said he was going to be able to accomplish as far as foreign policy and ending wars, we have seen nothing but the opposite happen. We have seen nothing but more strikes and more death and destruction at the hands of Vladimir Putin. We have seen nothing but the prices continue to go up. We have seen no help in housing. We have seen healthcare be stripped from millions. We have seen the negative aspects of this administration, this regime, are too long to list, right? They are too long to list. We could spend an entire podcast going through every negative aspect of what ICE is doing, Border Patrol, what they're doing to LGBTQIA rights all over the country, what they're trying to do to women's bodily autonomy. Again, the racist and bigoted policies that they've put in place as far as immigration, the lack of care they've showed to pregnant women, U.S. citizens, the beating of a father of 3 Marines. I mean, the list just continues to get worse and worse and worse. And we've now seen, as it pertains to, the clash that we saw between Border Patrol agents, ICE agents, and even Marines in California over the last few days, and the people that are fighting back and defending themselves against this tyranny. We can only think and we can only assume that scenes like that are going to become more frequent, are going to continue to escalate around this country as protests continue to ramp up, as unrest continues to grow in this country. It's funny how it always seems like this country's in turmoil and unrest when Donald Trump takes power, when Donald Trump is in office. It's funny how that happens. But let's get into thanking you beautiful people. I appreciate you guys for joining me on another fantastic episode of Blunt Politics. I'm Boston Brian. Again, if this is your first episode joining me, I appreciate it. I hope you like what you're hearing. I hope you like what you're seeing. If you do, please feel free to hit the like button. Please feel free to hit subscribe. Those two things are free to do. It doesn't cost you a red cent. You can throw comments in the chat. You can throw emojis that Mel works so hard on in the chat. That helps a lot into showing YouTube that we are engaging here, that you are engaged, that people enjoy the show, people enjoy watching it, and that will help YouTube spread this out to different communities and different people that may not, have been sent this type of video in the past. So let's get into thanking you beautiful people. A lot of membership milestones today. Really happy to see that too. Really happy to see the membership milestones and all you guys sticking around for so long. Some as long as 16 months that I've seen. That's amazing for you guys to be a contributor, to be a member to this channel for that long is fantastic. Let's go. Always, as usual, like I said, like you can count on the sun rising in the morning. Nordez with 5 gifted memberships to start things off. Angela, thank you so much for your 12-month membership milestone. Thank you so much for being here for a year. That is really awesome of you. I appreciate it. Susan, thank you so much for the 10. Keep the spotlight on the Epstein files. MAGA is fracturing over the cover-up. Yes, they are, and we will absolutely continue to do our part here at Blunt Politics. Continue to bring this and make sure that this is kept in the foreground, kept in the news, and make sure that MAGA knows that they're being lied to, duped, and propagandized at every single turn, and that the person that they need to be talking about, they need to be pointing at, is none other than Donald Trump himself, the man with the power, the motive, and the history with Jeffrey Epstein to make these files and client lists disappear. So thank you, Susan. Thank you, Jess, for being here for 1 year. I appreciate you and Danny so much. Tell Tegan and everybody else I said hello. Congratulations on the new car. Glad to see you guys are mobile once again. Yvonne with the 10 gifted. Let's go, Yvonne. I'm so sorry I missed that when it went by. But thank you so much for that huge contribution. Between you and JD, that's another 15 gifted memberships to 15 fabulous people that did not previously have memberships for this channel. Please reach out. Please thank both JD and Yvonne, not only for their contributions for the gifted memberships, but also for, Yvonne continuously sending different clips to keep me educated, to keep me informed on. Some of them I play on the show. A lot of the times I have the show kind of set up in my mind, but the clips that Yvonne shows definitely go a long way in keeping me informed, keeping me updated on what's going on. I have played a lot of them on the show as well, and that goes for like Ali Osher, who sends a lot of his memes and different information, and anybody else that sends any clips that you think are important enough or on the should be put on the agenda as far as things to show you guys on this channel. So I really do take into account what you guys want to listen to, want to watch, what you guys think is important. And I try to really mold that into the type of show that, fits around what you guys want to watch and what you guys believe in, right? So I appreciate Yvonne. Thank you, JD. Thank you, Slacks, as always, brother. I appreciate you for the continued $10 contributions. Slava Ukraini, love to you, brother. Love to Mel and Dungaree Dog Logan. Love to all the Bryantologists. Can't believe with all that Trump's done that this is what's bringing down the house. And hopefully, Slacks, you're absolutely right. And I could hope for nothing more than the house of cards that is Trump's power and prestige to come crumbling down on the house, upon the foundation that is the Epstein files, that is Jeffrey Epstein's ring of pedophilia and child sex trafficking that Donald Trump was directly involved in. So I can only hope that that is the case. Thank you very much. Thank you, Wes. Thank you, Colleen. I very much appreciate you guys for your contributions. Thank you, Colleen, again for your $10 contributions. Hopefully balance is a little different than that now. Thank you, Chewy, for being here for 16 months. Thank you, JD, for another $7. Join the Crustacean Nation. I love that. I love it. Appreciate you, JD. Thank you so much. Thank you, Kathleen. Congratulations on your membership milestone of 12 months, 1 year. Don't worry. No worries. Anybody that was unable to join the Zoom, don't worry. Plenty more where that came from, guys. I have a feeling that you will be completing and helping me accomplish more goals as it pertains to either chats or just, milestone goals as the show is concerned. And I will absolutely continue to reward you for your kind contributions, for your continued loyalship, for your viewership. I will do everything possible to make sure that you guys get rewarded in every way, shape, and form for your passion and your support for this channel. So thank you so much. And then we got Chewy with the unbelievable 20 gifted subs. Let's fucking go, dude. Let's fucking go. Appreciate you. Can't thank you enough. Such a huge contribution. Rav, right after that, followed by Marsha with a huge $5 super sticker, followed by Denise with her 9-month member milestone. Thank you so much. I always forget to check, but don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Thank you, Rachel. I appreciate you and your $2 contributions. I appreciate AI Jesus. I appreciate Noadez again for the 5 gifted memberships. 10 in total. Thank you so much, Melissa, for your 12-month membership milestone. Bedtimes matter. I'll watch Harry Wednesday. Not a problem. Tuesdays during the day, just in case we're a little confused. Tuesday is 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. show. But feel free to watch it whenever you guys are most comfortable, or have the most time to do so. Thank you, Carol, for being here for 5 months. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. JD, again, you did very well at not swearing today. I tried a little bit. At least, I guess. I appreciate it. But that just means that it's going to cost you less. So if I swear less, it costs you less for your swear jar contribution. So that's just another added bonus onto that, I guess. So thank you, Laurie, again for the $5. Thank you, Bicycle Mike, for the gifted membership. You are definitely in our hearts and our minds. Definitely thinking about you and sending you good thoughts, good vibes. And please keep us updated on how everything goes. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you, Marsha. Thank you, Melissa. Thank you, Susan, all for your gifted memberships. I appreciate that very much. Thank you, Vicky, to round it out. You guys have been really the backbone, the spine of this channel in making sure that we have the ability and capabilities to continue to, sit my dumb ass in front of this camera in this seat, talking to this microphone every day, giving you my political opinions, trying to bridge the gap between the propaganda and lies spewed by the mainstream media, the Republican Party, Donald Trump and his cohorts, and what reality, truth, and fact actually lie in front of us, and how we can use that to our benefit politically, and making sure that we get the right people elected, and making sure that the voters are the most informed and intelligent when they go to the polls, to make sure that they pick the right people, so we don't end up in this exact situation again. Right, because we cannot afford a JD Vance as president in 2028. We cannot afford a Marco Rubio or a Pete Hegseth. I honestly believe that we will not survive. We would not survive another administration of such incompetence, of such corruption, of such ignorance and criminality as we have seen in Donald Trump's first and second administration. So I will let you guys continue on with your Sunday. Thank you, Treva. When is the next Zoom? Good question. I appreciate you, Treves. I appreciate that. So the 15th. So that is, let me just see here. My apologies. Sometimes I lose track. So today is the 13th. So the 15th will be Tuesday. So Tuesday night. So we got Harry Dunn on the podcast Tuesday during the day. Retired former Capitol police officer, testified at the Capitol 6 hearings, has been on a mission to defend democracy ever since. Again, joined me on the humanitarian aid mission to Ukraine, where we got a chance to speak and meet for the first time. I was very honored that we got that opportunity, and I am further honored that I get the opportunity to sit down with him and speak to him face to face on my podcast, which is just crazy to think. So yeah, join me on the July Zooms. Tuesday night is the 15th Zoom, and then July 29th for anybody signed up at the VIP level. And again, anybody that signs up before these dates at patreon.com/BostonBrian is eligible for these Zooms. They don't get too crazy. It's literally just about a dozen of us or so that get together, just kind of shoot the shit, talk about our pets, talk about our cars, get acquainted with one another a little bit better as to a face behind the screen name. It just makes it a little bit more engaging, a little bit easier to decipher what's going on in the chat and who's saying what. And just brings people together. So I really appreciate everybody that signed up at Patreon. I look forward to seeing you guys there. And then I will be happy to announce when we hit our next goal, when the next we'll do another YouTube Zoom for you, for the people on YouTube, so that, you know, you guys get the opportunity to engage in some of those things as well. And you guys get praised for your loyalty and continued viewership of this show. So thank you. I'm going to let you guys go. Yes, make sure you are tuning in Tuesday, because our conversation with Harry Dunn is going to be a fantastic one. Please don't forget to put that on the calendar. Watch it whenever you have the time, whether it be live or otherwise. And please make sure, again, as I always say, stay loud, stay proud, stay aggressive. Get the hell out of your seat. Get into the streets. Protest what ICE is doing. Abolish ICE. Hashtag fuck ICE. Make sure that we're voicing our concerns. Make sure that we're building a coalition of people in our areas that we can get out to these protests with, so that we have some sort of people watching our back, because you never know what bad actors are out there. But get out, stay out there, get aggressive, stay loud, stay proud. Keep your head on a swivel, though. Make sure you're staying safe. Until next show, until Tuesday, I'm Boston Brian. This is Blunt Politics. I appreciate you guys. And again, Harry Dunn Tuesday. Don't forget, guys. All right. I appreciate you. I'll see you next time. All right. Love you guys. Appreciate it. Thank you to all the mods, guys. I really appreciate you mods. You go above and beyond with your time and energy in this chat safe. So I really appreciate all the mods. Tiff, Rox, Mark, Adam, all you guys. Thank you so much. Laquita, appreciate you.
You're drunk. You're drunk.
I mean, they've been conserved since the time of lobsters, right? There weren't trees around when lobsters first manifested themselves on the planet. Where you going? Nowhere.
It feels so lovely to be here tonight. What a beautiful night. Give yourself a round of applause. It's so lovely. Everyone's so lovely.
I'm just dandy. I got a bowl of chocolate pudding in my underpants.
China has total respect for Donald Trump and for Donald Trump's very, very large brain. Water coming here is dead. What uranium is, right? This thing called nuclear weapons and other things, like lots of things are done with uranium, including some bad things. Army manned the air. It ran the ramparts. It took over the airports. It did everything it had to do. Wrong. This week it was reported that an illegal and you just look at this, what's happening. Wrong.
Call them dumps, big massive dumps.
Wrong. Yesterday's a hard word for me. Wrong. When you ran out the healthy arms, you ran out of really healthy, they had great arms. Gettysburg, what an unbelievable battle that was, the Battle of Gettysburg.
I'm just an average guy who read public documents where the elite said they were going to enslave us and destroy America, and I'm not going to be like yuppie scum and deny the threat to my country. I'm going to fight back.
Get off my plane.
the director to call the White House. Do your fucking job!
I'm standing up here bashing the living shit out of Nazis.
Never fight uphill, me boys. Never fight uphill.
Shifting production to Thailand and to Vietnam.
We are a nation that just recently heard that Saudi Arabia and Russia will repeat.
Big, massive dumps.
Obama. Obama. No, get those lights off. Off.